Hi, I'm Dr. Rudy Cashman, neurosurgeon, Fort Wayne, Indiana, for 43 years. But I'm only 39 years old. No, as most of you know, I've been very interested in wellness for many years, connecting the mind and the spirit with the body. I think 80–90% of the patients I've been seeing over years, and most physicians see over the years, frankly, need a coach. They just need a coach. That is really what I'm trying to point out. The new revolution in healthcare, frankly, is going to be that the patient must participate in his healthcare. So what am I doing? I'm creating a culture of wellness. Lutheran Hospital is going to hire me starting July 1 to be in charge of a program which will be really creating a culture of wellness with the employees, with the patients, and with the community at large, to take advantage of this type of thinking to reduce the cost of medical care, to reduce our illnesses, frankly, by good health habits. And I call it I've created the Magic 8. You could name 100, but 8 basic things you could do to create this culture of wellness in yourself, in the community, your employees, in the schools, for example. Let's quickly go through these 8, and then we're going to go on and speak a lot about Asian medicine because they think this way. And let's take some knowledge away from them. Like number 1 under the culture of wellness is we must take some self-responsibility for our illness. If we just go to the hospital or go to the doctor and we name our symptoms, we expect the quick fix, and we don't participate, that just doesn't work. We are treating what's above the water, the iceberg, but we're not treating the problem underneath, and you will not be cured. The illness will just come back. We're doing that emergency operation, or we're giving you this medication or this narcotic, but we're doing nothing about the problem. So I think the healthcare miracle of the future will be that we have to accept some self-responsibility. We must participate. And a 20% participation rate is not going to do it. We all have to be part of this culture. Number 2 on this culture of wellness will be nutrition, to eat a proper nutrient-dense diet. We'll speak about this later through the program. I'll show you my food pyramid. Less meat products, frankly, more vegetables, for example, to lead to good health. Number 3 would be physical fitness. We all, no matter what our situation, there's something you can do. If you're severely disabled, you can dance in place, you can listen to music. You can take a walk, even if it's just 2 minutes, but we like people to physically exercise. For example, I'm not exactly 39 years old. I play tennis 3 nights a week, and I work out at Species or Planet Fitness another 3 days a week. So it can be done. It's important. Nutrition is more important than fitness. Fitness will maybe get you lose 30% chance of losing some weight, but if you don't eat right, that's about 70% of the problem. To practice some spirituality, to connect yourself to the universe, to your family, to your God, to whatever. But you must have something in your ball game that makes you feel it's worth living. So to go to church regularly, or be part of a group of people that meet regularly, or whatever, or your family, we need some spiritual connection to the universe. So it's I think, very important. And number 4 would be, this has to be a way of life, a process. I mean, frankly, proper eating and exercise and some spirituality. I practice it daily. I mean, it's a daily thing. It's not something I do once a week, once a month. So it has to be a way of life, and it has to involve your family. It's difficult to do just by yourself. And it's good to have a friend or the family, your children. You're all sort of practicing the same thing. Makes it a lot easier to do this. You all go to church together, you exercise together, you eat a healthy diet together. So it has to be a way of life. It has to be in your thought process, frankly, every day. And next, education. When does education begin? We need to be educated. I mean, to be truthful about it, the educated people eat better diets, they exercise more, they look at their health more. We all don't know the total reason. Part of it, I think, is time. Part of it is affordability. I noticed that at the health exercise places, the gyms are charging a lot less now, and guess what? Memberships are exploding. Planet Fitness, 5,000 members just at this local branch, and it's clearly the price. So anyone tries to say that poor people or economically deprived people don't want to exercise, ridiculous. They want to exercise. We have to make it affordable. We have to make it affordable. But education, when does it begin? Education begins before conception. Why is that? Because what the mother eats, what the father eats, which resulted in the sperm and the egg that fertilize each other for the pregnancy, what they are eating, what they're doing, what they're exercising is affecting their DNA, their genetic structure. So the DNA and genes that are passed on are determined, frankly, before fertilization. Then once the egg is fertilized and the pregnancy will be tremendously affected by what the mother is eating. Is she taking drugs? Is she smoking? Is she eating a nutrient-dense diet? Very important. So education begins before conception. And how educated we become determines our health habits. There's no doubt about it. And determines what kind of a job we have and what we can afford, what we have time for also. So that's very important. And next, we need to learn to integrate the mind and the body. And that's part of the show in Asian medicine is all about. We have to consider, we can't just cut off the head, throw it away, hand it to the church or whatever, and we practice medicine on the body. We stick it with needles, we operate on it, and we don't realize that how we think affects the body. Food is our medicine. Medicine is our food. That's what Hippocrates said, and he's absolutely correct. Many illnesses, at least 50-70% of the illnesses, are caused by the thought process of our mind. Our neuropeptides, our hormones, our neurotransmitters affect our body and the nerves that are connected. I'm stressed, my bowel reacts. Our second brain is located in our bowel through neurotransmitters and hormones. So especially in Asian medicine, when they talk about the spirit, the essence, and the energy, they connect the mind with the body. American medicine, frankly, Descartes, 1635, cut ahead of the body and gave the body to science and the brain to the church. We have not reconnected it. Today, even the medical schools, I frankly will say the medical schools are so scientific that the people graduating today know very little about the diet. They know very little about the mind-body connection. They know very little about pain treating. This must change. This must change because it is healthier. It is cheaper. It would save a lot of money. So, and lastly, our eighth, in our magical 8 would be we need to find out what our biomarkers are. What is our LDL, our HDL, our cholesterol? What is our blood sugar, our inflammation, CRP, and a number of other blood factors. You need to know them at a young age. Half the teenagers, even some of normal weight, have an elevated cholesterol. Heart disease, vascular disease begins at age 2 to 4. Yes, that's been proven because in the Bigelow study in New Orleans, they autopsied every child for 40 years that died of something, and they found fatty streaks in children as early as age 2. So we need to know our blood studies even as teenagers. I know it's a tendency of pediatricians to study only ones with some genetic component. That must change. A pediatrician needs to be a wellness doctor. That's his biggest function, to keep a child well. Milk products, we drink too many milk products. They have casein in them, a big cancer producer. Been scientifically proven. It was an Indian study, proved it. So milk products are not healthy after age 2. Before age 2, extremely healthy. The omega-3 builds the biggest brain. So breast milk is the healthiest thing a child could have for the first 2 years. So we need to find out our biomarkers, and they need to be acted on. I suggest give them yearly. If they're abnormal, if you have an obese child and they're abnormal, get them every 3 months till it's corrected. So now let's move on to our main subject, Asian medicine tonight. And the reason I picked that because Indian medicine, Japanese medicine, Chinese medicine has something for us to learn. They can learn from us, but we can teach them. But we want to take advantage of what I think are the important things that can improve our health. Let's talk about Indian medicine a little bit first. Ayurveda medicine. Ayurveda medicine. Deepak Chopra speaks a lot about it, and read some of his books. So Ayurveda is a holistic approach. Remember, the mind, body, a holistic approach to health that is designed to help people live long, healthy, and well-balanced lives. They want you to live to be 100. Incidentally, I wrote a book called Live to be 100, to be a sound body and sound mind. It's on Amazon, and it'd be good to read. And the term Ayurveda is taken from the Sanskrit. That's the old language, and the word Vata is a term from that, meaning life or lifespan, and Veda, V-E-D-A, meaning knowledge. It has been practiced in India for at least 5,000 years, and has recently become popular in Western cultures, largely because of Deepak Chopra speaking a lot about it in his excellent books. The basic principle of Ayurveda is to prevent and treat illness by maintaining balance in the body of the mind, thought process through proper drinking, diet, lifestyle, as well as herbal remedies. Okay, so it's similar to my Magic 8 wellness recommendations, but it's the mind, the body, the spirit, very important principles. The Ayurveda medicine involves, they speak a lot about the 3 dashas, D-O-S-H-A-S, the Vata, the Pitta, and the Kapha. And Chopra writes a lot about that. And it's a cornerstone of a method of diagnosis, disease prevention and treatment. The goal is to maintain and restore your own specific dashic balance. Now, we are born, and we have a combination of these 3, and you need to figure out which of the 3 that you are. It's not something I think that Americans are going to exactly run at, but still, I'd like you to know about it, to understand it, so that you might consider it. But again, it just drives home the point of nutrition and the body and stress, and that most of us are different, and that we accept it. So you want to figure out your own dashic balance via a combination of diet, lifestyle, natural remedies. A very excellent idea. And so what are the dashas? Inside the body, there are 3 dashas which govern the physiochemical and the physiological activities of your body. And the Vata they speak about, which is the ether and the air, and the Pitta from fire and aspect of water, and the Kapha from water and earth. So we have our own individual constitution at birth. It remains constant through life. And what they're saying in this Asian type medicine, you need to figure out which you are, and then they have recommendations for each type. Like I said, this is generally, I don't think, going to be accepted by most people, but I'd like you to learn about it because it connects the mind and the body. In the dashic type, they call that your prakriti, our unique mind-body type or personal constitution based on the 3 dashas. And we said the Vata means to move, spread, and flow. Pitta, the fire element, it governs all the metabolic and biochemical functions in the mind and the body. So the Kapha, the last one of the 3, is the stick that binds the body together. The qualities of the mind are called sattva and rajas and tamas. So that describes your mind dashas, how you think. They right away connect, you notice, the mind with the body. So the mind swings between these three mental states like a pendulum. So we need all three to attain our goals in life. Let's speak a little bit, and that's about all I think I'm going to say about Ayurveda medicine, just to give you a taste of it. So when you read, for example, Chopra's works, which are excellent to read, you get some idea, you know what it's all about. And what about stress? Stress has a tremendous effect on our health. And so we have to manage our stress, self-knowledge and awareness. We have to get the ants out of our life, automatic negative thoughts. Why do we have them? Although good things are happening, we don't bring up the good thoughts most of the time. We bring up the negative thoughts. Why is that? It's based on evolution, okay? To survive in evolution, but when you have the stresses of years ago of that things that could kill us, it was very important that you would think negatively to save your life. It's in our evolutionary body. So we have automatic negative thoughts. You have to learn to control these, or it can literally affect your health, how you think. I wrote a book called Welcome to Your Mind Body, where I describe, and you can get it on Amazon too, where I describe illnesses caused by the human mind, stress. About 30, it's more than that. I mean, at least 30 different illnesses: irritable bowel, headaches, skin rashes, palpitations, numerous illnesses, fibromyalgia, caused by stress. So you need to understand that stress can elicit a lot of illnesses, and they're not going to go away till you try to control your stress. It's difficult in today's world not to have stress. You know, economic times are terrible. Our jobs are threatened. And some people watch the news all day, turn the darn thing off, turn on the music. You could be stressed all day long. So a negative emotion is mental toxin. A negative emotion is mental toxin. What do I recommend? Mindfulness. Think of the present moment. Your life, you look in the mirror, you're there, it's a pretty day, okay? And say to yourself, I'm having a good day, and I'm going to have a great day. And I'm going to have a great day. If you're thinking of the past and the future every second, you're going to get stressed. Your blood pressure is going to shoot up. And I know I have a blood pressure 30 over 70 or something like that in the morning. But the minute I worry about the things I got to do, the operations, the stress, whatever, coming along, tough case, whatever, blood pressure goes up. It's my thought process. So what I try to do is do some deep breathing, connect me to the energy of the universe, and blood pressure drops. Breathing is a very good way, we'll speak more about that, of dropping your blood pressure. Especially holding your breath. If you hold your breath, say, for 5 seconds, practice that. Not more than 5, you can pass out, but 3, 4, 5 seconds. Practice holding your breath. Notice your blood pressure drops. That's a good technique. And another way of doing it is some real deep abdominal breathing, and you can drop your blood pressure. If you're angry, try meditating on a peaceful scene or situation that you're dancing, walking down the beach. Visualize that. If your visualization is speaking to your subconscious mind, and the body will react to your thought process. And stress can cause many diseases, so don't bury your emotions. Recognize them and take steps to resolve them. If you can. Some things are difficult to resolve, but I was fired years ago for my job, my first 6 months in practice, and I mean, I was in dire straits. You know, I had 3 children, 2 houses, and the guy fired me New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. I just tell the story to tell you, and you got to think. So what did I do? Instead of crying and moving out of town, what I did is I started running medical clinics in Ohio because they had too many neurosurgeons in Fort Wayne, frankly, and no one had thought of that. And within 3 months, I had so much business, I couldn't handle it. I had to hire other people. So make a plan. That's one of the things I recommend for stress. Another thing is, on my website, you can print off Rudy's 20 prescriptions for stress reduction, from deep breathing to meditation, controlling your finances, making a plan, write it down, what you're going to do. When you write it on a piece of paper, you find all of a sudden, boy, I'm starting to feel a little bit better, no matter what the problem is. So talk to a friend, share worries with others, use meditation and breathing techniques. Meditation, where you do some deep breathing. If you can't quiet your mind, use a mantra. Repeat the same word again and again. That's called mind energy. That's a mantra. And It's an important thing in your life to try to, of course, to keep on doing things right. I mean, make a list of all your negative thoughts so you can get the ants out of your life, to get rid of drinking too much, smoking too much, eating the wrong food. And so follow the recommendations of Ayurveda medicine to bring your life into balance. Now let's switch over to a little bit of Chinese medicine. Again, Asian medicine, but now the West is meeting the East. We think differently. We think differently. For example, if you look on your right, you see the symbol of a Tao on the right there, and it has an S between the white and the black. And they look at things differently. You know, with us, it's positive or negative, or bad or good. While in Asian thinking is more one blends into the other. For example, if there's less negative thinking, then there'll be more positive thinking. The white may move into the black if that's the positive and the negative. So Western perceptions are based on a dualistic point of view. So negotiating, for example, with an Asian person, you see, would be totally different than people from, say, from England, for example. For them, it's not just good or evil, and black or white. The things blend, and one has to give. It's a different thought process, and body mind. For example, we think that the mind belongs to another organization, the body belongs to medicine. We don't connect the two. Versus Asian medicine doesn't think that way at all. So Eastern perceptions are based on the Taoist worldview, and they speak a lot about opposite complementary forces. They talk about the yin and the yang, and we explain that more. They think in the world there's a universal polarity, a positive pole and negative pole. We know there is, and we know that there is. So they think before the universe was formed, there was a primordial Tao in the universe, the energy of the universe. When you think about it, the Bible really has that too. It's primordial energy, universal energy, energy throughout the universe. Let's face it, even my pencil lying there, or my phone lying there, what is it? It's all energy. It's all energy. That's just quiet energy. The molecules being held together. That's what makes it solid. But the world, frankly, is energy. So the Tao is in. The Chinese would say that the Tao is in everything. It's universal. It's omnipresent. It's omniscient. It's powerful. So energy is a common denominator that unites all things. So the universal system is known as the Tao, and the symbol you see on your right there. So there was something formless yet complete that existed before heaven and earth. The Tao is the name I give it. This is what the Chinese 5,000 years ago, when they wrote about, would say. Tao Te Ching was an author. He wrote that then. It's formless. It's omniscient. It's omnipotent. It's omnipresent. Note the similarities to Genesis: without form. So the Big Bang, it existed before the Big Bang. So very interesting. Then they speak about the three treasures. What are three treasures? And this brings mind, body, medicine together. They speak about the body, the temple of life, and they call that the yin. The yin. Some people would call it the yin, pronounce it differently. The energy, the force of life, qi. You've heard the term qi. Qi means energy. And then the spirit, the governor of life, your brain, the spirit. If any of these are called the three treasures, something you need to remember: the body, the energy throughout the universe, in our body and the universe, okay, and the spirit, the governor of life, our brain, okay. If any of the three treasures are off balance, all three are affected, okay. If the spirit is in command, the body will follow. This brings balance and good health to our lives, okay. When the body leads, the spirit goes along, and harms all three, So in essence, Asian Chinese medicine is about the body, the energy, and the spirit, connecting them together, and in combination with a connection to the universe. And I'll show you how they do this through beaming techniques, through the electromagnetic energy of the universe. Very interesting. And so the essence is the physical body, the flesh, the fluids, the hormones, the enzymes, the neurotransmitters. The energy is a primal life force in every cell of tissue of the living body. It activates all organ systems. Let's face it, 70 trillion cells. Each one has mitochondria in it. That's the energy system of our body. Every cell in our body makes energy. Some cells more than others. Heart cells have a lot more mitochondria. They have 40% mitochondria. They're little energy factors in which ATP is made from oxygen and sugar. Every cell has to do it. And then the third treasure, the spirit. All aspects of the mind, awareness, thought, feeling, and intent. So I think we now understand what Chinese medicine is about. And they'll speak about the three treasures. The balance of the three determine the state of our health, of our lives, and our natural energy. It's very important. You have to connect. So they are indeed connecting the mind to the body, which we in Western medicine are barely starting to do. But remember what I said? The next revolution in healthcare will be to connect the mind to the body. And that's what my 8 magic statements in the culture of wellness do, in more detail, from thinking to education, to exercise, to nutrition. Let's speak a little bit about the yin-yang polarity that the Asians speak about. Energy is polarized into two opposites, the yin and the yang. Okay, life flourishes and declines the further we stray from the Tao. The further we get away from the Tao, the sicker we become. So studying the Tao is an effective, practical way to promote health, to maintain sanity, prolong life, and to live to be 100. It has practical applications because a book was written by Thomas Cleary, Awakening to the Tao. You can get in the library, bookstore. A very good book to read. And I read it actually in the cover. He has bamboo. They like to use a symbol of the bamboo because it's flexible and doesn't break. See, we need to be flexible in our thought process, in our body. It bends to the stresses of our life, but it always comes back. Very interesting. So the yin and yang is in everything. So the Tao is in your body. It's almost like another person. So when you're awake or asleep, looking, listening, talking, walking, it's within us. Similarities to Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism. Not a religion. It's not a religion. So yin yang is the most pervasive principle of the material universe. They speak about magnetic opposites. Remember what I said? Everything is energy. Okay, it's about negative and positive polarities. For example, from our breathing, there's electrical bioenergy of positive and negative charges, depending on what the atmosphere is. If there's a lot of pollution, for example, there would be a lot of positive molecules out there which threaten our health. Sometimes some cities, I'm sure, and some in China, like 500 to 1 over the good particles. So magnetic opposite polarity provide the dynamic force that makes the world go round. Opposites bond and find equilibrium. Polarity enables physical form and structure. So when the molecules pull closer, we have solid substances become more. They can turn to gases or become liquids. It is the universe. So energy cannot function without polar fields. If you don't have negative and positive energy, you cannot function. And it applies to everything under heaven. And so humans, we're made out of electrons, cell structure, and a neurotransmitter. A lot of this was written by a book called The Yellow Empress, 2,000 years old. And the Chinese have kept this book of health that's 2,000, 3,000 years old. Very little has changed in it. And they still use it as their main book of health. Why does it work? Remember what I said? I said 80, 90% where they see a healthcare provider, all they need is a coach. That they need the magic 8 to work on. They don't need all this medication. They don't need all these procedures. And Mao Zedong even remarked on it. He outlawed Chinese medicine around 1950. He realized he made a bad mistake when Western medicine couldn't do a thing for the other 90%, and he switched back. And then he said, well, I learned something, and so could the Americans learn something, is that if they were to take on the Tao in Chinese health, they could treat 80% of the problems and 20% with great scientific medicine. Well, that's probably the only truthful thing he ever said. Actually, right now in Taiwan, there is a hospital with the best Western medicine, okay? But they also have in there the old Chinese medicine, which is treating 70, 80% of their people, from herbs to acupuncture, to exercise, to Qigong and Tai Chi. I mean, can you imagine what a great hospital that must be? I need to visit it sometime. It's in Taiwan, and a very excellent approach. Do you think their 85-year-old people are going to be on 15 medications like what I see all the time? No way. They're going to be drinking some teas and herbs and getting a massage and getting outside and doing Qigong and Tai Chi and relaxing things and be much healthier and live a lot longer. So there was another book was written, the Book of Change, about 1250 BC, and Cheng, who wrote that, said the basic belief, the only constant is change. You can never step in the same river twice. The yin is the shady side of the hill, the yang is the sunny side of the hill. The female is more the yin, and the male is more the yang. So they're always looking at opposite and polarities, and hot and cold, ascending, descending, inhalation, exhalation. So opposite sides of the same hill. And it's related to emotions too. Emotion is energy in motion. It's energy in motion. A lot more yang than yin if you get anger or fearful or mad. So again, the Taoist symbol from nature is bamboo. There's a beautiful painting, Bamboo and Moonlight by Lillian Elkay. That's on that book I recommend it for you to read. And strong yet flexible. Strong but flexible. So let's summarize the yin yang a bit here. So it's the foundation of the entire universe and basis of creation. Heaven is the accumulation of yang. Earth is the accumulation of yin. Together, yin yang are the primordial source of all power and wellspring of creation. This is science. It's not religion. Human free will is pivotal in the balance between heaven and earth. Conclusion: life choices are far more important than we usually realize on a day-to-day basis. So what's number one on my wellness circle? Choice. You must participate in your health care. Then the Chinese speak about the three powers: heaven, earth, and the human mind. What they're really doing is connecting the electrical bioenergy that's in your body. Remember I said there's energy in every cell in your body, and you can externalize it through your breath, through breathing techniques, and connect it to the electromagnetic energy of the earth through your breath. So we're bringing in heaven and earth and the universe into your body, and then we, through breathing techniques, bring it externally. So we're connecting the electromagnetic fields. So the three powers, heaven, earth, and the human mind, are connected. So it's a balance of human destiny in the natural world. It's called the way. The Tao is called the way. It's called the way. So what we just did is connected three powers, the heavens, the universe, and the earth, and the body, and the essence, and the energy, and the spirit, which we spoke about. We are connecting them through a system of energy. So teaching the West. So the concepts of the Tao, central to the ideas of Chinese medicine, can teach the Western mind. So the Tao gives us new tools of mind we may use to harness energy and regulate events into biochemical transformations in vital organ functions. And so teaching patients to heal and prevent disease would save thousands, millions, billions. But 80% of the people, all they need is a coach, and it were to follow those 8 magic wellness principles which I told you about, and maybe the Ayurveda type medicine, Chinese type of medicine, we could save billions, trillions of dollars. But the patient must participate in their health care. And unfortunately, I mean, again, most patients go see a doctor, want a quick fix, but many participate. I find when the patient figures out my heart's involved, I see them back. I have many patients lost their type 2 diabetes, maybe over 200, because I taught them how to eat, I taught them how to exercise. So the providers must be teachers. Physician means teacher. Physician means teacher. You got to be a teacher. And this is very important at the medical school level. I hate to say it, but it's not being done at the medical school level. And it needs to be done. It's very important. The time is here. The time is here, because when I speak to the med students, they know very little about nutrition, how to prevent heart disease. They never heard of Dean Ornish, which is frankly not believable. And I had one the other day, and 2 new cardiologists. I never heard of Dean Ornish. We must teach the medical students about Dean Ornish. Heart disease is stoppable, preventable, and reversible. He said it 20 years ago. Dr. Esseltine, Dr. Furman, Dr. Bernard. Look at my food pyramid while we're on the subject a little bit. This is something that I put together. It's at Trine University in the cafeteria. It's embedded on every table at Trine. It's at the Boys and Girls Club at Fairfield. A very good place to go. I think it'll be most likely be at Lutheran Hospital, and I think IU Purdue is looking at it. IT University is looking at it. As you notice at the bottom there, cruciferous vegetables. It's nutrient density, the vitamins, the minerals, which are 60 or so, and phytochemicals, 25,000 phytochemicals. Their interaction, their symphony, their mosaic, their rainbow of interaction leads to good health. You can add some things of non-color to it, like mushrooms and onions, were extremely healthy. They're full of phytochemicals. Meat products on top. Meat products, frankly, are not good for your health. Maybe you want to eat 20% of the time, eat that fine, but they're full of cancer factors, fat factors, cholesterol, and eating chicken, it's like eating a donut. My God, how could that be? It has no nutrients. You see any nutrients in chicken? No, not any nutrients. It's got fat in it. It has cancer growth factors in it, even without the skin. I hate to tell you this. So if you have advanced disease, you eat this way 100% of the time, this bottom 2/3 of that food pyramid, you're going to reverse your disease. Stop, prevent, reverse your disease. If you want to live to be 100, you eat 80% this way. You're going to live to be 100 unless you get hit by a Mack truck. And so if you want to get a copy of this food pyramid, call my office or maybe get it online of CashmanMindBody.com. And this would be a big part of this wellness circle that we're working on, is proper nutrition, because our evolutionary bodies, which we change their genetic structure 0.002% every 20,000 years. We have the same genetic structure body almost for 100,000 years, yet we are exposing ourselves to food that's been invented in the last 10,000 years. Our body's not used to that. It's revolting. So we get heart disease, diabetes, dementia at a much younger age than we should, cancer. 70% of uterine cancer is due to obesity. 40% of breast cancer after menopause is due to obesity. Yet I rarely talk to a woman that knows that. I can't comprehend that. I mean, it's beyond my comprehension. And I think they need to know that, because it's difficult to keep your weight off, but you got to work at it. You can really reduce the breast cancer rate. Just paying attention to the genes and sending all the money for gene research, it's not going to do it. It's not mainly a genetic disease. It's what we're eating. It's doing it almost 50% of the time. That's in the scientific literature. An oncologist, Dr. Reinhardt, confirmed it with me the other day again. It's in the Mayo Clinic book on breast cancer. I read it there again. So it's not something that I'm making up. It's true. Women need to realize after menopause, you got to keep your weight normal, because ovarian cancer, breast cancer, and uterine cancer go up after that. And so eating correctly is extremely important. So let's get back to the Asian medicine a little bit here. So the spirit is sustained by energy. That's our brain. Remember, the energy comes from our body, the cells, and from the universe. The electromagnetic energy, which we breathe in from the universe. So energy is obtained by transforming the essence, our body, our cells. Remember, I spoke about the 70 trillion cells. They produce the essence, that ATP in those cells, the mitochondria. So the essence is renewed by returning to the source, nature. And we're connecting with nature through our breath, So Taoism is known as Zen, incidentally, in Japan. So we're looking for a natural balance. Nature does not waste itself. It's not self-destructive. So nature operates on principles. Wisdom is learned by observing nature. I take a walk and it's raining or something like it did this morning. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Now, how come you feel so good when walking in the rain and you come back and it's so peaceful? Because you're connecting the electromagnetic energy of your cells, your 70 trillion cells, with the electromagnetic energy of the universe. The negative ions that are up there, if it's polluted, those are positive ions, and they make you feel down and bad, like working in a polluted factory or walking through a city where everything is polluted. But you walk with the rain and the sunshine, and you connect to the electromagnetic energy of the universe, you feel so much better. Why is that? Because the negative ions, molecules that affect your body. And look at nature. Take a walk. I walked through the Notre Dame campus with a relative of mine from New York last fall, and because he knew nut trees real good. We walked through the Notre Dame campus. I didn't go to school there. I just liked the place because they have a bookstore and they let me occasionally have book signings there. And I have nothing to do with the university. It's just a marvelous place. So we looked at every tree, every leaf, maybe every pretty girl too. But I'll tell you, it was just beautiful. We felt so good. And if you go to the grotto and back, if you read Dooley's letter, what does Dooley talk about when he's dying in Asia around 1940 and writing a letter to Hesburgh? He's talking about the thing he regretted the most, having been at Notre Dame and not having looked at it. So look at your house, look at your trees, look at your children, look at the food you're eating. It's relaxing, it's mindful, and just a real good thing to do. You'll find it extremely relaxing, especially outdoors. I think because it connects you to the electromagnetic energy of the universe is the reason. So in essence, what I'm saying, we need to learn to walk on our heads. That'll make us think. We need to walk first with our brain. Food is our medicine. Food is our medicine, and medicine is our food. That makes us healthy. So according to the Tao, the way, you must walk on your head rather than on your feet. Very interesting. A reminder that the true way of life must be guided by the mind rather than desires of the body. Charles Mayo from the Mayo Clinic many years ago talked a great deal of nutrition also at the Mayo Clinic many years ago, realizing that most of the diseases that he was looking at, what about 40, 50 years ago, that he was looking at, he thought were caused by poor nutrition. Very interesting. And so we're talking about bioelectric energy. And to relax and to connect us to the universe through breathing techniques. That's why when you see Asians exercising, doing Tai Chi or Qigong, the slow movement here, they're connecting to the universe. And if you take your shoes off and do it barefoot, the electromagnetic energy is more likely to pass from the air through your body to the grass. You'll be more relaxed. Yeah, try doing Qigong, Tai Chi, or taking a walk barefoot. You'll see the difference. It has to do with electromagnetism, and even the elderly do it in China. I was in Hong Kong once, and it was so beautiful to do it. And a good habit. If you want to learn to relax and energy, learn Tai Chi and Qigong, and learn breathing techniques. to relax. A good breathing technique is when you take your breath in, let the diaphragm relax. Breathe like a baby. Breathe like a baby. In other words, diaphragmatic breathing. Some people call the diaphragm the second heart. It's very powerful. And if you learn to do some diaphragmatic breathing and let it drop, you can take in a lot more air. If you have emphysema or respiratory problem, if you can increase the expansion of your belly or drop the diaphragm down, and in breathing, we use the diaphragm, we use the ribs, and we use the clavicles. The end-stage emphysema patients breathe with the clavicles. But that's the order of it. If you can increase the movement of your chest 1 millimeter, you can take in 250 more cc of air. Wow, man. If you have trouble breathing, you have emphysema, don't smoke in the first place, of course, the best idea, but if you got it, and you can get it for other reasons too, besides smoking, is practice abdominal breathing, chest breathing, even just a little increase of the expansion. 4 millimeters, you get 1,000 more cc, my God. You might even be able to take a walk after that. So to learn good breathing techniques is very important. To breathe through the nose takes 150% more energy, incidentally. There are types of yoga and exercises called alternate nasal breath for relaxation, where you block off one and then the other is a technique you can read about. Incidentally, we close off about every 2 hours. We close off one nostril. Yeah, that happens in the body through swelling of the turbinates. That's just happens to be the nature of it. So there is a science of breathing, and Qigong is one way of taking advantage of it. But you can see the nature of Qigong connecting the energy of your cells with the energy of the universe, the negative and the positive ions. You can see why they think that's so important. Food is medicine. What I've been saying. Food is medicine. Yes, it is medicine. So let food be thy medicine. We've mentioned that for a third time. Hippocrates actually said that. And unfortunately, we've had the lucrative medical, pharmacological, and the food industry dominate our lives. If you read about what they do to chickens, to beef, to pigs, to bring them to your table, I'll be honest with you, you'd have trouble eating them. But I'm not saying you need to read that. But what I'm saying is you should not eat those products that much because they lead to poor health, even ignoring that aspect of it. Because they lead to bad health. You have too many cancer factors, too many cholesterol factors, too many saturated fat factors, you have no vitamins, very little vitamins, very little minerals, and certainly no phytochemicals. Phytochemicals are 25,000, the phenols, the carotenes by the hundreds. An apple has 400 phytochemicals. A tomato probably has 700 phytochemicals. It's their interaction through electrical activity. Remember we spoke about the electrical energy. When the energy comes from the sun, it hits chlorophyll, and from the chlorophyll, it's an electrical impulse. That's where energy comes from. That's where energy comes from. And what I've been speaking about, electromagnetic energy. So from the sun, hits the chlorophyll, electromagnetic energy, and the interaction. You saw in science the Krebs cycle. You know it's complicated enough. But when you really look at it in detail, Max Hyman published an excellent sugar solution book. He has a picture in there of all the electromagnetic transfers of energy that occur from those 25,000 phytochemicals that are in food. It's beyond human comprehension. So what are we? The electromagnetic field, microcircuits. We're bioelectricity. So food, Charles Mayo said, normal resistance to disease is directly dependent upon adequate food. Normal resistance to food doesn't come out of a pill. Normal resistance to food does not come out of a pill. Adequate food is necessary to resist disease. This is from Charles Mayo from 50 years ago. I think a very important thing to remember. And we've spoke some about the art of breathing, about diaphragmatic breathing, clavicular breathing, chest breathing as being very important. And so the new modern medicine should be, in essence, 80% must participate in the healthcare. They must adopt this culture of wellness or Asian medicine, whatever you like, and save a lot of money, get less illnesses. So to connect the mind and the body is extremely important. If you're breathing, if you were to stop breathing, say for a few seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't suggest 10 or 20, okay? Just for a few seconds, you'll notice your blood pressure drops. A good technique to get the blood pressure down in the morning. You check your pressure, and then do some deep breathing. Take some real deep diaphragmatic breathing. I do that, and I visualize walking down the beach, speaking to your mind, which causes relaxation. My blood pressure drops. So, because the stresses of the day may increase my blood pressure. So, very important. Remember, you need to know your biomarkers. You need to know your blood pressure, your blood tests, your blood sugars. You need to get the necessary shots for the children and for yourself to avoid illnesses. You can find out from your family doctor, internist, what they are, and take them. So very important to get your necessary immunizations. Very important to find out what your biomarkers are and then act on them. That's part of wellness. So we spoke about we need to learn to walk on our head, okay, instead of on our feet. So that we're thinking, okay. So the spirit mind are the master of your body. Humans have spirit mind. Right thinking attracts the universal Tao, okay. The spirit leads, the body follows, energy flows, and you're healthy. So the practice of Taoist thinking can reverse debilitating, depleting imbalances of essence, energy, and spirit. The energy of the universe, your own mind, and the essence of your body, the neurotransmitters, the hormones. So integrating Taoist views and disciplined habits increase our chances of good health. The body leads, the spirit with us, okay? If you focus on the body and your 5 senses, the Chinese call them the 5 thieves. Your hearing, your vision, your smelling, your touch, your taste can mislead you. They're the 5 thieves. But we need to think about our 6th sense. Those are 5 senses. But we have 6 senses. And what's the 6th sense? You probably would guess already. The mind. How you think is your 6th sense, and extremely important. Extremely important. So then they speak about the tree of life. So the Taoist view provides the world's most complete and effective system of preventative health care. Thousands of years of observation and scientific experimentation. It is rooted deeply in Taoist philosophy. We spoke about the 3 treasures, the essence, the energy, the 4 foundations of health, the 5 energizers. And so they will speak about the tree of life, the branches, just like my 8 magic recommendations on the culture of wellness. Diet, nutrition, acupuncture, exercise, qigong, meditation. Remember, mind, energy, meditation, breathing techniques to relax, herbs, and internal alchemy. Some supplements they might take, some not medications, but some roots and some medicines they've developed in 5,000 years that have some value. So the body is viewed as a self-contained microcosm of the universe. We're connected to the universe, the energy of the universe. And let's speak a minute about acupuncture, for example. Do I believe in that? Yes, I believe in that. Well, how does it work? Well, in Chinese Asian medicine, they talk about the meridians, about lines of energy, many 12, but frankly, you probably come up with 100. And then they have centers of energy, the chakras. The star chakra, the mind chakra, the throat chakra, the chest chakra, the belly chakra, the sacral chakra, where these meridians lead to that. And what they will do with acupuncture, these little needles, is try to pair organs. They'll pair the heart and the liver, for example. And they have these pairs of organs that, and they'll also have massaging of your feet, for example, whether it be a certain part of the foot that's massage, acupressure, and be working on the heart or the liver. And part of this is belief. Belief affects your neurotransmitters. Okay, whether it's religion or health or whatever. That placebo effect. Maybe acupuncture is a placebo effect. I can't be sure. But I think when you consider the electromagnetic energy of the universe, I'm not too sure. But it sure as heck works. There's no big old time injection. There's no narcotics. There's no operation. So I highly recommend acupuncture. Besides, an acupuncturist would usually talk to you for an hour, take a great health history, and then work with you. It doesn't work for everything. You get cancer all over the place. That's not the first place I'd go. I'd try Western medicine. And then, don't forget, the mind is connected to the body, that you try aspects of immunity. How your mind thinks affects your immunity. This is very important. I wrote a book on the mind in cancer, and you might like to read it. Amazon Books, and it's worth reading because your thought process can affect your immunity through neurotransmitters, through neuropeptides, through hormones. You can affect your white cells. Incidentally, your white cells, Candace Pert proved, also make all these neurotransmitters and these chemicals and these hormones. So you can speak to the body speaks to your mind. So how you think, what you eat when you have cancer is extremely important. So I think acupuncture, Qigong, Tai Chi, I think are very important. In essence tonight, what I've been trying to say to you is that through wellness techniques, connecting the mind with the body, which Asian medicine does very well, and especially pay attention to the Magic 8, which I had in the beginning, and pay attention to Ayurveda medicine, Chinese medicine, read about it, learn about it. You can prevent most illnesses. 70% of the illnesses, frankly, require those Magic 8 we talk about, and you don't need to run for injections or narcotic or take 15 pills when you're 85 years old and make yourself sicker. And let's face it, there have been 26,000 deaths alone from prescriptions, probably 100,000 deaths from the mixture interaction of all these medicines and procedures. So to participate in your health care is extremely important. I beg for you to do it. I hope you join me in this culture of wellness, because I like to involve the whole community. I have to congratulate Lutheran Hospital. I didn't ask them for this job. They came to me and asked me to take the job. I personally think it deserves a lot of credit that they themselves are thinking that they have the best of Western medicine, which they certainly have there, because I'm there. I'll tell you, I've been there 43 years at age 39. They're the best of Western medicine, but they are willing to look at the wellness aspect big time. Big time. They're going to involve the employees and the patients and the community of teaching with the universities getting involved. I think, it's a wonderful place. And I must say, at my young age here, I'm frankly quite excited at my new job after doing neurosurgery for 43 years, and thanking my patients for allowing me to work on them, even at this tender age here. I was on call Friday, Saturday, Sunday over Memorial Day. Enjoyed every minute. You know why I enjoyed the practice of medicine, and I have to thank my mother for it, why did I enjoy it all these years? Because it involves people. It involves people, and you're speaking to the people. It's really been the joy of my life, and that is the pleasure of being a doctor. It's the people. It's the people, and I think I've certainly helped a lot of people become better, and I thank my mother for it. She was a midwife, but in our town in Germany there were no doctors. She was the doctor. I watched her many times operating in the living room, so you can see my motivation, and I think she would have enjoyed listening to this lecture on wellness. I hope to see you on the next show. We've been doing this 3 years, and we're going to keep it right on going. And please join us in this culture of health circle. Thank you very much.